What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey672 coming guys with a video right now. So I just want to go over just, since we played the first week already, and you know what, I want to let it all out and kind of just discuss how I feel about this team. And, not just playing the first game. It's just in general of how I feel about just what we've been through since the Super Bowl, and obviously coming into this season with so many new pieces, and just how exciting that this whole entire group is. Before I get into that, a word from our sponsors.
Want to make smart bets this football season? Download the BetQL app that gives you the best bet recommendation on prop bets, sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, check the leaderboards, breaking news, and injury updates. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.co/Joey to get started now. Enter the discount code Joey at payment checkout for 25% of any of their subscription offerings. You can find all this information in the description of this video. Make sure to check out the BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Also, check out their sportsbook offers page if you live in one of the eligible states to claim free offers upon signing up at one of the many sportsbook listed. Don't miss out on the chance to beat your sportsbook this football season. Once again, thank you for our sponsor, BetQL, the only app you'll need to beat your sportsbook. Find their information along with 25% off in the discount code in the description of this video. And also check out the special BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL and other sportsbook sign-up offer and bonuses.
People might say, why do I nitpick so much? People might say why I go over so many different things about what happens with this team. And I understand it gets annoying. I understand that, this is what I like to do. I like to nitpick at things. I like to see if there are other things that we can do to make this team better or how they should do it. I'm no coach. I'm no analyst. I don't work for the NFL. Trust me. The one thing I do have to say is that I've been very, very just from this whole offseason, just coming into this, even this first game that we've seen already, I didn't know how it was going to go, and I was kind of nervous to see if we were going to even get production from some of these players that were really just put on the shelf last year. We all know, I don't think any of us want to remember the 2020 season of the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, what's been going on in the outside world, plus this team being as bad as it was last year because of a lot of different reasons. But getting this new head coach and Nick Sirianni, the offensive coordinator and Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, Rocker, all these different guys, Jonathan Gannon doing a good job with the defense as being a coordinator. There's so much more to see. But at the same time, I'm really happy just how they, how the players kind of reacted to just how new everything is, especially the veterans as well. Drafting Devontae Smith and just watching this first game from the Eagles and seeing all the, when you watch an offseason and you see all the pieces kind of come together a little bit and you kind of say to yourself, wow, you never would think that it would really come together like this. And you see all the pieces, just all these new pieces that we have. You know what? I have so much faith in this wide receiver core for the next decade. I really do. Obviously, I want Quez Watkins to play more snaps this week. That's probably the number one thing I want badly. Get more guys into the passing game. I understand JJ is there to block. JJ is there to do other things that they think he specializes differently in what he does on the field, which it is true, he does. But at the same time, we have a lot of talent here. I think we've seen a lot of production this offseason out of guys, out of the line. The linebacker core is probably the most productive spots that we haven't had production at the position. Obviously, veteran favoritism has stunted the growth of a lot of players. I think Mulata could have been better a couple years ago. I think he could have been one of the best left tackles maybe a year or two ago. Obviously, they just didn't do much. They cross-trained him. They did a lot of different things. It's really just about what these players and what they do. It depends on the coaching staff and the moves that the GM makes and Howie Roseman. And I think at this point, I've never been so excited about just going to this first game. It was a breath of fresh air. It was just a bunch of new faces. Everyone has a chip on their shoulder. Our quarterback does, from how much the media downplays them. The offensive line, the defense, Jonathan Gannon, Nick Sirianni, every coach has a chip on their shoulder as well as the players do. I thought Nick Sirianni, even for the first game, played a very cautious, conservative, but he was being smart. Obviously, with some of the fourth down, he'd want to try to convert on fourth down. I give it to him. It is what it is. Okay? But when you have a team that's this young and this new coming into this year, and I understand it was the Falcons. Everyone's gonna downplay because it was the Falcons. I didn't expect them to play this well Sunday. I thought, it would have been a good game. I thought they would win, but I didn't think it would be that good. Okay, I'm really excited about the running back core. I'm excited about Kenneth Gainwell. Miles Sanders is a given. He's a natural talent. Kenneth Gainwell, a fifth-round pick that should have been a late second to an early third-round pick last year, obviously this past year, and, took off the year because of the virus, and his draft stock went down. So I thought that was a steal, and, our running back core was probably one of the strongest units this year with 8 running backs in competition. The offensive line, obviously, we have doubts about the right side a little bit. Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson have had some good amount of injuries the past couple of seasons. So you kind of worry about that. Your offensive line stays healthy, this team could go places. I am telling you. I am really telling you that. Okay, defensive line-wise, I think you can have one of the best defensive lines. I mean, I thought they struggled just a little bit, but at the same time, they got pressure where it counted, and, I could say that much about it. I just hope I see a little bit more going forward. This is, the 2021 season it's not a year for a Super Bowl, okay? And I'll be honest, it's not. As much as I wanted to, obviously as a fan, you're looking for your team to win a Super Bowl, but you got to be realistic in where we are as a team. Obviously, they made moves, rebuilding moves. Obviously, they made moves to where we're rebuilding, but they made moves to where, I think the Eagles kind of want to make some noise this year. Okay, so obviously you add Ryan Kerrigan, you add an Anthony Harris to safety, and Eric Wilson that's very underrated, and maybe, kind of work for that big contract this year into next year. So there's a lot of fresh faces here, and it's a breath of fresh air. There's no dysfunction. There's nothing going on. It's low expectation for this team. There's no high expectations for this team this year. Okay. For us, it's low expectation. When you have low expectation, you can kind of just take a deep breath and say, okay, a lot of young guys, new coaches, fresh team. What are they going to do with it? The 2021 season, to me, the 2021 season is pretty much finding your building block pieces for this year. And then after finding those building block pieces, you go into next year, okay? Trade a couple veterans. There's going to be there's going to be a veteran or two that probably gets traded, or there's going to be guys that walk off this team. It's going to happen, okay? And you have a stronger camp next year, and obviously you go into next year with a lot of cap space. You lock up some guys this year, whatever money you need to use. You already did Jordan Mailata. Dallas Goedert could be the next to go. And you go into a draft potentially having 3 first rounds or 2 2s and 2 1s. Okay, you never know what could happen, but I think we're starting to see that the hump that we have to get over is the development. You can draft the best guys that look good on paper. I mean, this is probably one of the best drafts that we've had this past year. Landon Dickerson, the second-round pick, that's a well-polished center that can work out next year. If he works out to be one of the best players, if he comes in and he works out, and I really want Jeff Stoutland to be here. Hopefully the offensive line coach and Jeff Stoutland does stay here, okay, and I hope that happens. So if Dickerson works out next year, that draft was like an A-, and most of the guys made the team. And you get a lot of production from a lot of these guys. So it's really nice to see that. Very happy to see that. It's just I'm excited. I'm excited every year for every roster that we have every year. I'm always excited, but this is probably the most exciting because there's so many mysteries with it that you just want to see more, and you want to see more. Like, I didn't see enough Sunday. I want to see more. Like, it's just when you have I think because we finally have a number one receiver. I think finally the Eagles are kind of making sense now that they know how to build around their quarterback. And I'm not going to go into the Carson Wentz stuff, but obviously didn't build around Carson Wentz the right way. And they didn't, okay? I thought around Jalen Hurts, I mean, Brian Johnson, that's worked with his father before, that knows his family and a good quarterback coach. And on top of everything else, you gave him a number one receiver that used to play with at Alabama. And, Jalen Reagor's going to have a good year, guys. Quez Watkins, I want to see more of Quez Watkins. I didn't see enough last year. I want to see more. And he busted out in training camp, did good against one in the preseason games when he had the chance, and I think it can be a more valuable asset in this offense. I think there's so much more. I think you have youth in this offensive line. I think Jordan Mailata getting that extension was fantastic. You have Nate Herbig that can play both guard spots. Obviously, when Jack Driscoll gets off IR, you could do a lot with him at right tackle. You have Tyree Jackson at tight end that potentially could be a number 2 behind Dallas Goedert when he gets extended. So there's a lot of fresh pieces here, a lot of good things to really look at. And I couldn't be any happier, really. No matter how the season goes, whether this team wins 6, 7 games, 8 games, whatever it is, this team is going to, as long as we end the season, and look, we're all going to be mad when the Eagles, if they don't make the playoffs, if they don't win the NFC East, whatever it is, we're going to be mad about it, but at the same time, are we going to, after a breather, after a day, did this team actually take a step forward? Does this team look like they're going in the right direction? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And I think the most important question of this whole team is Jalen Hurts your franchise quarterback after this year? All I wanted this year was the Eagles to give Jalen Hurts a chance. So he stuck out, and you know what? He became the starting quarterback. And now, after one game, looks good, looks solid, but it's not just going to take one game to tell me that he's going to be something. I hope. There's a lot of hope in everything. I really hope for it to be what it has to be. Okay, and there's no promises towards it, but is it looking good right now? It's looking fantastic, okay? People want to downplay us. There are fans, media, everybody wants to downplay us, okay? There's a lot going on with this team, and it's all positives. I think you have a culture setter in Nick Sirianni that started it all. And then you have this quarterback that has this mental ability, he just is so mentally strong, and you kind of wanted that in our last quarterback. You kind of wanted that attitude and never really got to. I think Jalen Hurts gravitates players towards him. I think players want to play for Nick. Players want to play for Jalen. And it's just so perfect, you know what I mean? And if you don't have a quarterback that's going to lift people off their feet to play with you, and obviously guys that are going to really just that's why I wasn't a fan of bringing in a veteran wide receiver and all that stuff, because it just open the cages and let these guys just show themselves to the world. Let them prove themselves that they could be something special. Okay, that's why I don't give up on players after a year. I don't. Jalen Hurts did not have a good sample size of games. Played good against the Saints, played good against the Cardinals, and really after that he didn't play well. Okay, let's get that straight. But his numbers were not bad. Okay, so you want to make sure your quarterback works out after this year. That's what you want to make sure. You don't want to trade for a quarterback next year. I don't want to trade for a quarterback. I don't want to go move up in the draft for probably the worst quarterback draft I've seen in a while in the 2022 draft. So there's a lot going on here. But really, that's really all I got to say. All I'm going to say right now, I know the video is going on 13 minutes, so I don't want to go crazy, but I just want to give my perspective on just everything, just put my perspective on what's been going on. And obviously, I nitpick at a lot of stuff, but at the same time, I nitpick because I love this team. I nitpick because I want players to play better. Not that I want them to fail. It's not that at all. It's I love this team to death. Going to the Link is like my second home. Okay, so that's just how it goes. So whatever the outcome is this year, might get mad, might get angry, might be happy most times. It's going to be an up and down thing, and that's just how it is. I know this team was going to be slow. Literally, I don't think the offense looked pretty slow. They looked more comfortable after that first series. They looked comfortable, and obviously Jalen Hurts made some mistakes. There were some throws that were okay. There were some throws that were, inaccurate. There were some guys that were open, and he was getting pressure. It is what it is. I thought he played more of a perfect game, and you know what? It's only one game, and I know he's going to play better. So there's really a lot to look at here, and couldn't be any more proud of this team after playing their first game. For a team that had low expectation coming to this game, that they're going to look slow, they're going to look sluggish, and look like a mess because it's a brand new team, new faces, and new quarterback. This second round pick for Nick's, this second round pick in Jalen Hurts. You know what, guys? This happened for a reason, and honestly, this is a quarterback that wants to prove himself, and that's all that matters. As long as he gives me 100%, which I know he does every single game, as long as he does that, I'm fine with it. I have no problem with it at all, period. I don't. So, it could be a blessing in disguise, this second-round pick in Jalen Hurts, a big blessing in disguise. So, that's what I want to say. I'm excited, guys, and I'm ready. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready for this team to fight. Because if this team even loses a game, they're still going to give it their all. They're still going to be tough. They're still going to be competitive. They're going to give it their all. And that's all I want. That's all I want. So, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. It's a long video, so please bear with me. Other than that, I will see you guys later. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys later. Remember, Shakes Code Up, follow us live. Peace out, guys. Peace.